T-Marker, Caddo Lake review, guys. Get right to it. Action.
What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. You know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, and thank you for making us a part of your day. Let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today?
So this one got me sold because of the headliner. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
Your boy.
My boy. Been
Her
my boy
man
since
crush.
since Teen Wolf. We are reviewing Caddo Lake today.
Caddo Lake, guys, tells of a story when an 8-year-old girl disappears on Caddo Lake. A series of past deaths and disappearances begin to link together, altering a broken family's history. Now, without further ado, this is actually the lead actor, of course, in here is going to be everyone's going to know it's Dylan O'Brien, along with the phenomenal, and I got to admit, because she was very entertaining, Eliza in here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eliza, that really focuses on, centralizes the film on those two characters that are linked somehow, right? They're linked somehow and everything. We're not going to spoil it for you. There's no spoilers review, but we're going to give our in-depth discussion exactly of that's how the show's going to go and everything. So we're going to give in-depth discussion of what we thought of the film and ratings and all that good stuff. So be sure to stay around for this. So let's get right to it. Angela, what did you think after watching this Max movie, straight to streaming film? One of the very few films that Max is pulling out. Of course, we saw Salem's Lot, which I think that should have been a movie in theaters. And I have to say, after watching this movie, I wish this movie was in theaters as well. But I can understand why it went straight to streaming because of the budget and everything. I could see that a lot in this film. But what did you think of this film right off the bat?
I didn't really know what to make of it. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't really read up on it. Again, headliner sold me right away.
Yeah.
Put me in that seat.
Of course.
But I will say it was very surprising, the plot
Yeah.
and how it, the story was told and everything. And it's classified, I think, as like a horror mystery.
Yeah.
But I get more mystery vibes than horror. Didn't definitely get any horror.
It's classified on IMDb. It's classified drama mystery thriller. So I don't know.
Okay. Good. That makes more sense because I got a lot of mystery because it's very much like you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. A lot of like alternate dimension time traveling kind of thing going on. So it's very hard to kind of pick out the timeline. It's very much one of those that goes back and forth between different timelines. And it's kind of like you as an audience have to kind of figure it out because it doesn't necessarily tell you right away all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool at the very end when you kind of piece it all together and you're like, aha.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, it kind of like when it finally dawns on you, it makes sense. And I really liked the way I really enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
I think it was really done very well. I got to give it to my boy. He did such a great job. I got to give it to Eliza. She did such a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
She was great. And it was a really, really interesting story that I think was told very, very well.
There's a lot of moments in this film that really focuses a lot on the environment. So there's not really too much CGI. There is a little bit that's a little graphics. And I could see why it went straight to streaming because of the lack of budget. CGI it's not great. When you do see it, there's only I want to say 2-3 moments and the CGI really comes in and it's very, very pixelated. It's not good. But besides all that, though, this movie really focuses on the environment, on the whole aspect of where they're at and everything. And I love that because it's in Texas. It's in Texas, Caddo Lake, Texas, East Texas. There was a real spot here. And so we're from we live Texas, San Antonio. So knowing that it's a Texans native and everything, the sayings and all that stuff. So we kind of got that aspect of it. Small town feel very, very much included in that as well. And so one of the things I did appreciate, of course, was Dylan O'Brien's acting in here. I gotta admit though, man, he really surprises me in a lot of these. He was the main lead in here as well, but he also surprises me a lot, even in his supporting roles that he does and everything. And he really is a force to be reckoned with on camera because he really is very entertaining. And first and foremost, Eliza, which she did a great job in here. I mean, she kept me entertained along with Dylan O'Brien at the same time. Both, I haven't seen Eliza in too much stuff that I could think of. Oh, that's right. She was in Little Woman. So she was Beth in Little Woman, the remake of that, The Devil All the Time. So she's been in a few supporting roles and everything. I guess this is the next up tier that was she was mainly on camera, and she was very entertaining. She kept me. She was a force. I feel like she's gonna be up and rising, up and coming to see her in more Hollywood movies, more mainstream films. But besides all that, this movie is good, entertaining. It's a good, entertaining flick, and I feel like that people are really gonna enjoy it. But I don't know if this is the right time for this movie to come out. This comes out in October, the Halloween season. I could see why Salem's Lot came out, but I could really see this more of a November, December movie. I don't know, call me crazy, but I feel like the release date for this movie is not accurate to what the story is, about how deep it is, because it gets the emotional grasping. There's the emotional depth here, and you're really trying to figure out what the time lapse, if there is a time lapse, what's going on, and you're just trying to figure out what time period. And I love how they don't tell you. I kind of love how they kind of like not like necessarily figure it out, but in a way, but they give you hints, and it all connects in a positive, in such a great grand way, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's
it hits you like, it hits you like, oh my gosh, that's what's been happening this whole time. And
exactly,
it's crazy,
and it's very entertaining.
Again, very interesting story. Cannot say enough good things about the cast, not just Dylan, but Eliza. I think she did really well, and all the rest of the cast too.
Yep.
But again, I really enjoyed this,
and the character development here is very, very well put together. And
I will say
it's very, but there also is a lot of. I would say there's a few sad moments in here that really got me. That really got very emotional, and I appreciate that.
I will say I hated the ending for one reason only, and you guys can probably figure out why. But,
of course.
Other than that, I think it was a beautiful story, and
very, very strong story. It just, as far as budget goes, you could tell it's a very low budget movie, independent film that Max put out. But that's not to say the least though, because there's so many movies that were like Blumhouse that makes under 11 million or all that stuff, and they don't even look like it. But at the same time though, this movies like this that really have an act on nature. We saw a horror movie a couple 3 weeks ago, where it's literally just sounds and it's nature takes its course. This is where true filmmaking really comes in play here. And same thing with this one, camera angles, playmaking. It just, a lot of these have to factor in because they have to really, if they're knowing they're not using a big CGI moment, they have to use their nature shots, those beautiful nature shots. And I feel like that this cinematography was okay. I think should have been a lot better, but I mean, it was all right for me. It just, there was a lot more shots I wish we would have gotten, a lot more cinematic feels, which I really didn't feel that watching this movie.
I disagree.
But okay. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. But all right, guys. Angela, what are you going to give this rating? 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest.
Again, I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was a really solid film. I hated the ending. Despite that, I really would see this again. I definitely recommend people see it.
Yeah,
give it a chance. So I would say a solid 7 because for a mystery, it was
because it's Dylan O'Brien. That's why.
Yes, but also I think the rest of the cast did really great too.
Yeah, and the story's really good.
And the story is very good. Again, it was very much like once you see movies as frequently as we do, they some movies kind of start to feel a little predictable. This one really did kind of throw a little curveball in there, and it was really refreshing to see that. So I thought it was cool to see. Again, solid 7. I stand by that.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to give this a solid 6.7 out of 10. 6.7 out of 10 because we go back to where like movies, does it really reach that caliber level and everything when it comes down to like storytelling? Not just just because it's a Transformers movie, it has this fantastic, amazing budget, big budget movies. I really go in comparison because you can't really compare movies like that to this one. And so despite all that, I still enjoyed this movie. It's a very good, entertaining film. I do recommend this movie, guys. 6.7 out of 10. And Dylan O'Brien kept me entertained along with the nature shots. Again, I just wish they would have put a little bit more budget into the graphics in here, a little bit more into like the CGI points, because it really took me out of the film. I was like, wait, what? I understand and you kind of get a grasp of that towards the end of the movie where, that's why it went straight to streaming. For me, Salem's Lot, which came out last week, I didn't feel that way at all. I felt like that was, but again though, that's the interpretation that I got out of both films that went straight into Max. But yeah, I'll give it a solid 6.7 out of 10. Be sure to stay tuned, guys. Check out our other movie reviews, and let us know in the comments down below. Question is for you guys: what did you guys think of this movie and everything? Did you love this film? Did you hate it? Let us know in the comments down below of what you think of Dylan O'Brien in Caddo Lake. And despite all that, I mean, I'm excited for moviegoers to really see this movie on Max, and I feel like that they should definitely get word of mouth of this movie because the storytelling is really great. That's the most important key component here of this movie is the storytelling and how it really, really keeps it together and how it flows so natural. It's not forced. It's very natural, and I really did enjoy this movie. All right, guys, thank you so much for making me a part of your day, making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. You can call me Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that gal at the end.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Have a good one, guys. Stay tuned and see you at the movies. Latest.